Hey everyone, it's Carlo here at Axpona 2026, and I'm here in the Legacy Audio Ballroom. Fantastic presentation going on, and a lot of great new and innovative things happening with Legacy Audio. A lot of big news too. So I am here with Bill Dudleston, the original founder and chief cook bottle washer on the engineering side of Legacy Audio.
You got that part right.
There you go. And I'm here with Jay McArdle, new CEO. Would that be the correct thing to say?
Yep, owner,
Right.
CEO.
Owner, CEO of Legacy Audio. Guys, thank you guys so much for taking the time. I guess the first big question is, Jay, you being here now and the new CEO, and how's Legacy Audio, I guess, set up now, or what's different and stuff? Or how does... You know what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the first thing I'll just address is how things are the same.
Okay.
So everybody that was there beforehand is still there, right? So Bill's still there doing all speaker design. Victoria's still in the background, running the show, like as essentially COO and helping us keep everything normalized. All of the same workers are still there. You got Ed Day, fantastic on service and support for us. And so it's additive. It's not a change of fundamental direction. It's not anything besides us trying to bring more DSP to bear, more experience in digital technologies and connectivity. And so Bill and I have known each other and worked together for about 20 years now. Bill's been a business mentor to me through my journey in founding a company and growing it, going into a corporate, and then coming back out. So this has been a long relationship for us, and I'm excited to let Bill just be a speaker designer and not have to run a company, and not to be the general manager.
Bill's excited about that too, actually. Probably.
Yeah, baby.
Being able to do his thing and do it.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, fantastic. Yeah, and so, but you have a not like just simply a corporate background or any such thing. I mean, Hewlett-Packard. I mean, you have a big knowledge of DSP and all that good stuff, all that digital connectivity stuff.
So my history over the past couple decades has been, I founded a systems integrator. So with my brothers, and we grew it to a global company. So I fundamentally understand the customer journey of how they have to connect the things. What are the pain points? How do we have to get it from the factory into their home and letting them use it? I exited that in 2020, and then went into Poly, which became Hewlett-Packard, was acquired. And so for the past 4 years, I've been running global product for Hewlett-Packard. So my job has been head of global product for all hybrid systems. And so
a lot of Tylenol, I don't doubt.
Heavy job. Yeah. So I was in charge of a couple $2 billion in revenue there. And making sure that we picked the right DSP technologies, whether it was for our headphones, whether it was for our video bars, whether it was for a lot of the different connectivity. So I got intimate knowledge with all the manufacturers, whether it was from Qualcomm or Analog Devices or MediaTek, Intel, to understand how they all work together, what's on the horizon, what we can expect. It was a really fun interaction with Bill and I the other day where I was explaining what tops of like a new AI PC is trillions of operations per second is how our new AI PCs are measured as opposed.
I should add that he shows me this picture of it. I think we ought to get this. It's like a Linux computer. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, technical calculations, probably that could be handy, with our room correction stuff.
Right.
And it turns out that he explains to me tops. He goes, it's 1,000 trillion operations per second.
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
Just enough to do some speaker DSP. Just barely enough.
You think they could handle 50 milliseconds in a room?
I mean, if you give a little extra jolt, it'll probably handle the DSP, the first speaker.
1.21 gigawatts comes in.
There you go.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's where where I think about the older you get, exactly where your weak areas are, and areas you have areas of expertise, but where you're not great at. And so I've always made a point of not getting tied up in writing any code for CNCs, not doing anything along the lines of programming, and stay focused on the acoustic side and the physics side of it.
Right.
And so Jay is just like a perfect fit for the other side of it.
I was gonna ask you. So how does this, these additional, what sounds like significant resources,
Yeah.
on the DSP side affect how you're going to be able to design loudspeakers going forward. I mean,
Yeah.
how does that play into it?
Well, first of all, there's all these technologies that are available from analog devices or AKM or whatever, and you have these various softwares like Audio Reaver and Sigma and whatever. And Tesca's Instrument has their own little help system or whatever. But really, to take full advantage of that stuff, you need somebody that knows how to integrate and make all these things talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it's when you're going from 5 channels of amplifiers in a loudspeaker system and all the codecs and all the corrections and the time domain corrections,
Right.
there's a huge overlap between what I know and what he knows that we fit together really well. So
Fantastic.
so the last 3 months have been a rocket ride.
Wow.
So
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I expect we're gonna see some pretty wild stuff. One other thing I actually wanted to ask you, Jay, is that with the background you have, how did you have you always been like into hi-fi, into music, or is it how did you sort of get into this sort of part of the
Yeah, so
equation?
absolutely. So I remember some of my youngest memories are my dad would he had B&W loudspeakers in the house, and he would wake us up to bagpipe music, right? And so but
Don't put a bed, laddies. Come on, let's go.
that would be the threat. I would put on the bagpipes, and then we would all run down to the hi-fi system downstairs to try to get the bagpipes off.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
But I mean, I was introduced to Mozart and Tchaikovsky, and my dad has just been such an influential part of the journey of just appreciating music and the subtle nuance and detail into it. And so I took that passion through, and then I met Bill at a trade show, at a home show we were doing, Control 4 and doing some stuff in my previous job. And then he ruined my reference forever, right? And so I went in and sat and listened to some whispers.
Okay.
And at the time I had some Snells at home. I was like, they don't sound right. And so then I always had that reference, and I'd set up multi-million-dollar loudspeaker systems and commercial and all of these things. And I'd always been passionate about the science of getting it right and understanding the overall levels and understanding of in conferencing and commercial, speech intelligibility is everything. Because if you can't understand the CEO, then you've missed, right? And so trying to make sure that we understand that accuracy. And so then I became a Whisper owner from Bill, and then but I wasn't going to buy a pair of speakers until I could have what I wanted and had the reference for it. And so then that started just the passion and the love, and my wife graciously let me have them, right?
The boss.
And so I got those, and then she fell in love with them there in the house. And so as we were trying to figure out our journey and what that looked like, Bill and I talked for, it was no less than 5 years about kind of what it could be as far as Bill's exit strategy and trying to explore different opportunities and options for it. But being able to own this and be the caretaker of legacy, right, is the way that I look at it. I'm a custodian. It's Bill's company that he founded, that he grew, that he made the brand for. I'm a custodian of that and need to move that forward. Now I also need to put some of my own spin on some of the stuff and help us grow on it.
Yeah.
But one of the most important lessons that Bill taught me was you have to be really good at something to understand how far you are from great at anything, right? And so I know how great Bill is at speaker design, and I know how far away I am from that on it, but I'm really good at understanding DSP architecture, connectivity, all of those other different types of
problem
things.
solving, period.
Yeah. Just overall problem solving. I love to just run into the fire, to try to figure out how to solve something that nobody else can solve when it's impossible. That's my jam.
Sort it out, yeah.
And so I love to run into that. But yeah, it's the passion and the journey, and it's solving those really difficult problems. And in audio, there's so many difficult problems to solve, and so much ahead of us with the technology that we have that we didn't have 2 years ago, 9 months ago.
That's awesome. This sounds like a dynamite combination.
Yeah, the thing he's done the first year is laid a broad foundation, and it may startle our customers thinking, A, Bill's going away, or B, this company's becoming different. Yeah. But think about it. Over COVID, we didn't release any new products for 5 years, and basically now we made a lot of good money during that time frame because we could actually build our product unlike most manufacturers.
Right.
So it was just built in the States. But the reality of it is that to get a foundation in where technology is going right now, he understands AI, as do I. I use it religiously. He uses it religiously. And so it's the rate that you can learn today. I don't know if I can tell a kid to go to college anymore, simply because if you bring him up right with the right tools, that child has such direct access to answers to questions, Socratic method, that you're going to grow exponentially. And sit and listen to some lecturer that's hit his peak 20 years ago is probably not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's a very cool insight. Yeah, it makes sense too. But it's also the question about, you want to grow. Obviously, the company wants to grow and continue and venture forth and create new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And on that note, some of the stuff I've seen here. You guys, that speaker you're demoing right now, is it the Talus?
Talos, yes.
Talus. That's very cool, and it's like it's the first sort of new design I've seen from Legacy in a little bit.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think first thing we do is start with our customers, start with our dealers to find out what they need, right? And so the V Systems was getting a little bit long in the tooth, right? And so that was in between our Aris loudspeaker system and the Valor loudspeaker system. So we know we needed to fit something in that price point that fully retired the old industrial design of Whisper and Helix and everything there. So we needed to have something there. But they also, the feedback was, I want something that has the big legacy Valor sound, but I need it to be smaller, right?
Okay.
I need it to be more compact. I need it to to be able to fit in more spaces.
Right.
And so that was the task that I gave to Bill of okay, how do we take a Valor, shrink it down without losing the soul, without losing the essence of it? He's like, oh, well, that's simple. Which is ironic, right?
It's simple.
just going to take a lot more power, Jay.
Yeah, that was exactly. It's going to take a lot more power. We have to do internal DSP. Okay, great. I'll take and this is how we work. It's oh great, I'll take the DSP. We already understand ICE amplification and what we've been using for years. There, Bill, you go run and do the speaker design. I'll go run and do the DSP design on this, and then we can start to make it compact. But it has to be. So when I ran to go do the DSP design on it, it had to be something that we could manufacture, that we could control, that was a foundation for all products going forward, right? It wasn't just a point product. It wasn't a one-off and to run towards that. And that's where...
Something scalable for,
absolutely.
To grow with, absolutely.
And that's in product, that's where you shoot yourself in the foot. So if you develop a product and you don't platform it from the get-go on it, then you run into, oh, this is for this and this is for this. And then you end up supporting so many different code bases and so many different architectures of DSP and hardware and all of those things. And that's where my experience within HP is really helping and coming to shine for us. And I think it's super important, to mention too, that we're doing all of this in Springfield, right?
Right.
And so as you ask and said, are we planning on scale? And as we're planning, yes, absolutely, from Springfield, right? And so we bought a pick and place machine. Electrical engineers are in Central Illinois. DSP engineers are in Central Illinois. We're working on all this together, and we're doing, bought a new CNC machine to be able to do new industrial design, bought a new aluminum CNC to do stuff locally. Learning from Bill of controlling your own manufacturing process, controlling your own destiny, being able to do all of those things. So we're accelerating. We're not changing. We're not fundamentally going someplace else.
Yeah, wait times, lead times on things collectively have not recovered since COVID started. Lead times are insane. If you're working with an outside partner, get prepared to wait a year for something, 6 months for something. And then with these tariffs going up and down and all this craziness, and we always did build our cabinets, and then we went to the best driver manufacturers and partnered with them to have our drivers built. I don't know that we're going to change that philosophy there.
Okay.
But when it comes to the DSP and amplifier integration and that, we're all over that. And we in the high-end audio, we pioneered that. Our first Meridian and ourselves basically were the people that brought digital audio amplified speakers to the marketplace. And there's been some other companies that have active loudspeakers, but nobody has worked the DSP like we have. And the things that you can do to correct the loudspeaker, take all the wrinkles out, and then you have the algorithms that you need to decode stereo, if you will, because the idea of a left and a right providing a three-dimensional space from all seat positions, it's a little vague. And just like headphones don't do it, they give you an information that's locked in the center of your head.
Right.
And Atmos is now working hard to try to create specialization, but they still haven't nailed this out right here in front of them. And so those things are all algorithm based. And we're going to continue to do research in that area, and we're very aggressive about it.
So it sounds like you're going to be able to focus a lot of, both you guys are going to be able to focus a lot of time on your strengths and then bring it all together.
Yeah.
And,
well, the other thing too, he has a family of friends, you might say, that are experts in their field through his relationships.
Connections.
Yeah, he's hooked up big.
Connections.
And he'll call somebody that's, it's like NASA level type stuff, and just get that guy's opinion. Well, they're going to help just because they're that type. You bring them a problem, they can't help but give you an answer. And so it's not like it's a based on a cash thing. It's based on mutual respect as a colleague. But he has a lot of relationships like that are just amazing.
Relationships are the ultimate currency, right? And so, like, as far as being able to call, and so when we did the artist speakers that we're showing here, right? So we've got some world-renowned artists, some street artists, and so I was able to call a friend of mine, Michael Tompkins, and so he arranged a street art exposition about 10 years ago in St. Louis, and so we went around and found this really talented artist that hadn't been discovered yet, and then put a forum together for them through his passion of art. Michael and I were in a CEO club together, and so then I called Michael and started talking about this concept of doing art on speakers. And he's like, yeah, let me make a couple phone calls. And he called Finch, he called Killer Napkins, he called Paco Rosic, he called Kababi Bayak, he called like a number of different people. And so Killer Napkins is like a world-renowned and award-winning, the most awarded street artist right now. Did some artwork for Crack and Rum, and you're seeing his stuff on the left side there. You've got Paco Rosic, and Killer Napkins was inspired by like 80s, 90s skateboard art and fine lines and details. But these are world-renowned artists, right? These aren't like, they're not raps. They're not like somebody we just found. These are like, to have that call to Michael. He's like, oh yeah, let me make a couple phone calls. And then the respect and the relationship with Michael was, okay, great. Like, let's figure this out. Let's do a 5-year exclusive with you guys so that we can then commission individual products for customers. Okay, great. Now let's move, Michael. And so then we can start to go there. But it's not just like my relationships in the AV industry and in the manufacturing, DSP, algorithm design, industrial design, all of those things. It's just people, right? And it's like providing uncommon value.
That's what this whole industry is based on. I mean, it's about relationships and people and enjoying music.
Right.
And that's you boil it, distill it down. That's what it's about.
Right.
So
exactly. And you could take this product to an art fair. You could take it to a music fair. It doesn't.
It translates.
Exactly. Yeah, it translates. So, and when the first speaker rolls in, I go, that's kind of cool. Wow, how's my business profile fit this? And then I started seeing more of these things come in. I'm like, this is really cool. And you start understanding the magnitude of reach when you art yourself. You don't know anything about illustration, do you?
Maybe I messed around with it. You never know. But no, it makes a statement, and it's very cool. It's very, very cool. And I'm sure that's going to attract like a whole, interest from a whole different audience and stuff. Which is really wild.
It's absolutely an and, right? So as we're doing this is giving additional like customers like an additional choice. We're not going away from the gorgeous wood veneers and the craftsmanship and everything that we're doing here. And so for everybody to understand that this is this is an expansion. This is not a change of direction on it too. So, but we're going to continue to expand.
I'm going to be really excited to see. I mean, I know, like I was talking to you, Jay.
Yep.
I mean, we did a visit way back when to Legacy, a factory visit and stuff, and I'm really going to be excited to see what you guys are going to grow into and expand into, like in the future.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing is we're going to bring ultra high performance down through the line.
Yep.
And so the trickle down on that's going to be huge. And but we want to do enough of it in house that we're not controlled from the outside on costs, with costs and imports and tariffs and all this stuff. I mean, between the long waits that manufacturers had from 2019 forward, and it's never really truly recovered.
Right.
And so being able to do these things in-house is just, I've always believed in being vertical with your company, because you can at any point you can branch out, but if you can't maintain, it's sort of like if you're building infrastructure for a city, where you have to have your water supply, you have to have your sewer. You can talk about expansion, but until you have the fundamentals right. And a lot of the companies, that's one of the things I think that Jay appreciated about my business was the foundation. It's very solid. We had zero debt. We were profitable, and we have some good employees. And so it's something that you can build from.
Excellent. So besides the what you're doing with the artist series and the new speaker that you're demoing here, is there anything you can kind of, any more cats you can kind of let out of the bag about what's going to be coming down the pike that you can, or not yet?
I think that what I can say about it is we built a foundation for DSP. Right, and so you're seeing that in both of our new loudspeakers out there, the Talos and the Outcast there.
That's right.
So we have the subwoofer stack, the tower there, as well as the front main. That was fundamentally written, the DSP for that, in-house, so that we could take that and expand that, as Bill's saying, to take it through the overall line itself. So I would expect to see more innovation in that category from us. Simplicity of connectivity, simplicity of user experience as we go forward. And so, that's, again, the product side of this is trying to make sure that it's simple to understand, simple to use, simple to interact with. And one of the biggest things is it has to get better over time.
Yeah.
Right? And so being cloud connected and being able to have all that information come back to us allows us to do that. If you don't have that, then essentially when you install a system, after your break-in period of it, it's just going to degrade, over time. And so, if you add more things to it, great. But the day that you put it in and the day that you get it to its resting space, then typical technology degrades over time. We're in an environment and technology where the expectation is my iPhone gets better the longer I have it. I have more applications, I have more functionality, I have these things. So your loudspeaker system in the generation that's coming through expects the technology, especially when they're making an investment, from $10,000 to $100,000, that they expect the Tesla experience, right? Where, I get a new feature, I get a new upgrade. It knows if something's wrong before I do. All of those things. It's all about that convenience there, but without sacrificing the quality, without sacrificing the experience as we go through that. So, as far as new products, as far as teasers, not going to go further there, but I would say expect the velocity of innovation from Legacy to increase, over the coming years. Expect that we are going to have new product launches, new product offerings as we go through this, but still hitting those core, the core markets, and maintaining the soul of Legacy as we go
the
forward.
execution.
Yes.
That's something that we spent 6 months just refining our finishes, which were already considered really top notch.
Exceptional,
Yeah, and we've made them better.
Yeah.
And the way that we're now printing, serial numbers, on the back plate and labeling the speakers as left and right as they've been tuned. And all these different things, wait a minute, is my speaker left and right different? Yeah, because you had different components in them to make them the same. And that's something that a consumer doesn't realize how rough a speaker is until you do that final tweaking and tuning. I got thousands and thousands of pages of documentation to show what a final tune-up does for a loudspeaker system. So
That's wild.
yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing it all in DSP now.
Oh boy, that's awesome. Oh, this sounds fantastic, guys. I mean, I know I'm really excited to see, you know, what's going to be coming from Legacy going forward, and I'm super excited to see the kind of team you guys have set up.
Absolutely.
So, and the new speaker sounds great.
Thank you.
You know, bonus. Awesome. Bill, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Jay, thank you too. That's
Absolutely.
great to see you.
Good to see you all.